So we're back to trying to figure out why the screensaver is not working on the GoPro Black when it's in the Karma Grip. And I got into this back and forth discussion with somebody on Facebook where he was arguing that having it never turn off was awesome for him. And that's because he uses the grip handheld and he wants to see everything that's going on. And I assume that GoPro put the always option in the screensaver mode to allow those types of situations to have it always on, so that way as he's walking around he can see what he's filming. And that makes sense. But it also makes sense for just about every other application of the grip, where it's on your chest, on a helmet, on the outside of a car, in the actual drone, that the screensaver needs to turn off to save battery and not get so hot. And if it's up in the drone, you don't need to see the screensaver. If it's on the chest, you don't need to see the screensaver. But allowing those options of 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minutes to be in there, it makes total sense to have that. So during this discussion, I got to thinking about when did all of this happen, and that was back for me at around the end of May, when I noticed it not working anymore. And then I did some homework online and found out that GoPro did an update in April. And I don't update my cameras very often because I don't use the Quick app, so it doesn't tell me all the time. I only update it if I read online somewhere that there is an update. So it's very probable that even though the 2.0 update came out in April, that sometime after that I updated. So I also saw online that all cameras get shipped with version 1X on it. So I did some homework. I found a version 1.5 of the firmware. I had that extra GoPro sitting here ready to go back to GoPro on an RMA, and I thought, what the heck? Let's download that version, and if it turns it into a brick, who cares? They're going to flash it anyways. If the downgrading the firmware from 2.5 to 1.5 worked, then we could test it. So it actually did work. I was able to get firmware 1.5 put on the camera, and let's see what happens here. So I'm going to go ahead and fire it up. Let's turn this thing on. Let's go double check the firmware. Let's let it go through its process. So let's scroll down. Let's go to Preferences, About. So as you can see right there, we are now downgraded to version 1.5. So if my theory is correct, when I fire this bad boy up and it kicks in about 60 seconds, because I have it set to 1 minute, about 60 seconds, that screensaver should go black. So let's see what happens. So we're at 55 seconds right now, so this should go black here pretty quick. Bam! Son of a biscuit. So somewhere between version 1.5 and version 2.5, I couldn't tell you exactly where, this broke. I'm going to assume it's somewhere in the 2.0 and above version. Not exactly sure. See, it's still working now. Alright, so now we're going to take it to the next level. And I have set the GoPro back, the screensaver back to always. To never. And let's make sure that it doesn't turn off this time. That way we can confirm that those settings that are in there are deliberate, and it should turn off with the new update. And it's truly a bug. So let's go ahead and turn this on. Alright, so let's turn this around. Let's take a look at that. Let's double check. So we'll go down to Preferences and let's scroll up. So as you can see now, I have it set. It is set to never. Okay. we'll go ahead and run it past our 60 seconds. And again, I'll speed this up for you guys. All right, as you can see, we're past the 1 minute mark. So I'm going to try something which I have not tried before. I'm going to try updating it right here. So let's go ahead and turn it off. Let's go down to settings. Let's change it from never to 1 minute again. All right. As you can see, it says 1 minute. Let's go ahead and get out of here. And let's go ahead and start this. Let's see what this does. I'm probably pushing my luck on setting it up in camera. When I set it to never, I actually took it out of the gimbal and set it to never there. I would assume that it would function the same in or out of the gimbal. That would be my, as a photographer and a software guy, that would be my understanding. But we'll see here. Bam, it turned off at 1 minute. So I'm not crazy. Now, one of the other arguments that this gentleman had was that every time that you put it into the gimbal, it automatically goes to never. And my argument was it shouldn't, and it didn't before. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the camera rolling, but I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the gimbal, stop it, take it out of the gimbal, set it back to 1 minute, put it in the camera, and let's see if it changes it to never. So we'll go ahead and turn it off, shut it down. We're going to go ahead and take the camera out. All right, let's go ahead and set this. Let's go ahead and set this back to 1 minute. It's already set to 1 minute because that's what we had left in the camera. So his theory is that if we put this back in, it's automatically going to go to never, and my theory is it shouldn't, and it's not going to, and it's not supposed to. So let's turn this back off. Let's put it back in the gimbal. Let's turn it back on. And let's go check it. It should still say 1 minute. And based off the first test, I'm 100% confident it's going to say 1 minute. So as you can see right there, 1 minute. So it's not supposed to. So that concludes my testing, and hopefully I can get this information to GoPro and they can get this fixed in the next release. Maybe they'll even send me a bounty for finding it, solving it, and coming up with the solution. We'll see.